today we're going to use the pole, and we're going to use the pole mainly to monitor our biomechanics for most of the way through. By biomechanics, we're meaning the alignment of our bodies, how our bodies move over joints. But we're going to start off with it anyway, just in front of us, just for a little tiny bit of support, with your feet underneath your hips, so about that fist distance between your feet again, okay? And it's only there, just we're going to do our foot and ankle strategy. So we're starting off by rocking between our heels and our toes, or the heels and our balls of our feet. And the pole's just there to give you a little bit of support or feedback to make sure that you don't feel like you're going to fall forwards, but to allow you to challenge and push it maybe a little bit more than you normally would. So really focus on working through the foot and ankle. Okay, nice relaxed shoulders, long spine. You might want to think about connecting your pelvic floor. And then just keeping those toes nice and connected to the floor all the way through. So we're not leaving the floor as you go to your heels, we're not scrunching into the floor as you go forwards onto your toes. Okay, the other thing you just want to think about is as you go through that movement, are you nice and even between your right and your left? Okay. So the last couple of these. And then just land nicely in the middle. Right, from here, we're going to keep going like that. I'd like to have the sensation of just rolling through onto the balls of the feet, and then we're up onto your toes and down. So stay through the balls of the feet, nice and smooth, up and down. And as you're doing this, can you raise, lift and lower through the big toes so that you're using a very specific chain of muscles. Okay, if we go for the lateral legs, or the lateral foot, the outside foot, you use completely different muscles till you go through the big toes. So just have a real focus on that. And again, you've got the pole there just for a little tiny bit of support. Good, couple more. Okay, so this is just to warm the legs up a little. Good. And down. All right. Bring the pole across the front of your pelvis. You've got your two bony points on the front of your pelvis. Clearly you don't actually attach the pole to the bony points, but I want you to have the feeling that you do, and that if the pelvis moved, the pole would move with you. Okay, so the whole idea is that you're using that pole to monitor your pelvis. Okay, so we're going to start off with this exercise called walking. And when we're doing walking, we're just always looking for the pelvis to stay horizontal to the floor. So we'd like to bend one knee through the big toe, and swap, and swap, and swap. Okay, so if you can see yourself, it would be great. And you're just looking that that pole stays completely horizontal to the floor. It's not going up and down as you swap. Working, as I said, through your big toes. If you're able to think about something else, then also just making sure that as the knee bends, the knee's going forwards over the middle toes and it's not dropping in. Okay, so keeping the nice biomechanical alignment of the knees over the toes as well. Okay, if you can think about something else, have a nice long neck. So just keep a length through that spine. Okay, we're going to go walking into a jog, still looking to maintain that nice horizontal pelvis. Good, keep working through those big toes. And from a jog into a sprint. We're off, we're off, we're off. Okay, really working on keeping that nice horizontal pelvis. Good, back into a jog. And back into a nice slow walk. Lovely. Okay. Good. Right, from here, before we get going, I'm just going to talk you through what you're looking for, okay? We're looking that the pelvis stays level horizontally to the floor, okay, and it doesn't drop, but equally as it doesn't hitch, okay, because if it does either of those, you're going to end up with issues in your glutes. Making sure that when you are in single leg, that the other leg is free. Again, it's no good balancing if our balance strategy is either that or that. Okay, that's the other thing. And then we're also going to look, we're going to go into a single leg squat in a moment for our knees over our middle toe alignment. Okay, but first of all, let's just start with some nice weight transfer. So transfer into one leg, lift the other off the floor, make sure that leg's nice and free, that the pelvis is horizontal. Okay, the other thing you can clock is your trunk. Okay, some people, their trunk disappears off to the side one way, less usual is the other way, but occasionally. And swap, don't worry, we'll speed this up. Make sure that you've got a nice free leg, that the pelvis is horizontal. And again, swap. And swap. So plumb line, shoulder over hip, pelvis horizontal. And then the other thing, which is unlikely to happen yet, but it's more likely to happen as we go a little bit more complex, is to make sure that the pelvis neither rotates back nor rotates forwards. Again, rotating back is more common. Okay. So all of these things, if you have your hands on the outer reaches of your pole, you'll get tactile feedback from your pole. Lovely. Right, so what we're going to start with then is we're going to start with a single leg squat. Okay. So with this, take your right onto one leg, and we're dipping and returning. And dip and return. Good. Keep that nice horizontal pelvis. Okay, so what commonly happens with this, if I do a bad one, is people dip and they lift, and then dip and they lift. So we're looking to maintain that nice near middle toes and then keeping control. So what I would say is if you do find that your pelvis is dipping and lifting, do smaller squats, okay? Do them within a range that you can control and then build on that range. Okay, last couple to this leg. Lovely, and then swap. Okay, so taking your weight onto the other foot and getting your plumb line and then knees over middle toes. Nice horizontal pelvis. Okay. And just being aware, hopefully, if you can see yourself, but if you can't see yourself, that tactile feedback from the pole that, you know, you're only going as deep as you keep controlled. Good. Couple more of those. Okay. Right. Next, we're going to go into a hamstring eccentric, which is good for both lengthening and strengthening your hamstrings, particularly the insertion of your hamstrings, particularly good if you suffer with tendinopathy of the hamstrings. What you see a lot of in this is that as somebody goes forwards, that the pelvis rotates and that the trunk comes off to the side. So you work completely different muscles if you compensate with this. So really, 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 really listen to your pole, okay? Get your weight planted very much through the big toe joint of your stance foot. And you're going to start slowly flexing forwards. And as you flex forwards, I'd really like you to concentrate on that pelvis and the pole staying horizontal to the floor as you go down and then return. Okay. So through the big toe, Work on that horizontal pelvis as you go down. Nice, long, strong neck. And return. And again, going down. Trunk control as well. So as I say, a lot of people, their pelvis rotates and their trunk shifts off to the side. So you're really wanting to try and make sure that that trunk also stays really nice and in line with your legs beneath. Okay, so going down and return. Good. Again, going down. Return a couple more times. Pelvis forwards to the floor. Right, last one. Good. Okay, other side. Be aware, sometimes we're really good on one side and really not so good on the other. That's just something to be aware of with regard to yourself. Okay, so get your weight through that big toe joint on your stance leg. And when you're ready, you're going forwards, pivoting through the hips, get the legs coming up behind you, focusing on keeping that pole horizontal to the floor, and return. Good. And again, going forwards. And back up. Okay, in your own time. Okay, a couple of times. All right, one more. Good. Okay, so it's worth doing those exercises slowly. They are very good exercises to do. We should probably all do them regularly. Right, next one we're going to do is a step forwards lunge. Now, the reason why I like this is particularly for those who do hilly running. Even if that hill is running down a town street or something, it doesn't have to be the fell. Then again, as you step forwards and we go into a lunge or a hip flexor stretch, what you'll get with a lot of people is, I'm exaggerating, but that. Okay, and the knee falls in. So we're looking again, front and back leg, knees to direct middle toes, pelvis nice and level. Again, only go so low as you can manage. Keep the head and shoulders on top of the pelvis, a nice long tailbone as you sink down. So when you're ready, going down, 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 keeping that monitor of the pelvis and return. Okay, step back, forwards, work through your big toe of your back foot and going down and return. Good. Again. When you're ready, we're going down. 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 Coming up. And return. Step forwards. Bend. Coming down. And return. Okay, we'll do two more to each side. Really focus on that control. Remember, if you can see yourself, it would be great. It just allows you with this to really clock, not just from the pole, but through nice visual feedback. That everything's in the best alignment that you can manage. Remember those knees going over your middle toes. Okay, last two. Good. And one more. Well done. Okay, right. Good. From here, we're going to hold one hip flexor stretch, but I'd like you to hold the pole rather than holding it with your hands down. Hold it between your thumbs and your index fingers. And we're just going to add in a nice side stretch to it as well. Okay. So when you're ready, take a nice big stride, head and shoulders on top of pelvis, knees forward over knees, long tailbone, bend the knees, find yourself your hip flexor stretch in that back hip. Okay, then take the pole up and lengthen over to the side. Breathe, kind of pull and push the pole at the same time, and release. And again, tuck the tailbone, reach up and over, breathe, and return. Good, a couple more times. Tuck the tailbone, reach up. Nice big breath. And return. Good, one more time. Reach, breathe, coming back. Good. Okay, other side. Stride back. Put the tailbone down. Bend the knees. Get the pelvis nice and level. See how that makes a difference. Okay, tuck the tailbone underneath. Take the arms up and over. Nice big breath. And release. And keep that tailbone tuck. Going over. Breathe. And let go. Good, a couple more times. Tuck. Reach. Breathe. And return. Good, one more time. Keep the tailbone tucked. Reaching over. Nice big breath. Well done. And return. Good. Right. Okay. Now we've opened the hips up. We're just going to do a little bit. Just clocking that the glutes are firing and the hips are extending from the hips. So if you'd like to hit the pole down the back of the body, we're not doing much here today, but just remember the rule that I would never, with your neck, I would never want you to have to look up to the ceiling to find the pole. So we're all differently postured, okay? Ideally, back of the head between the shoulder blades, tailbone finds the pole. Some people, your lower back will find the pole, some people, your heads won't find the pole. So just get as optimal as you can manage, but without doing any poor compensations, okay? So hold the pole in place, and then we're moving from the hips, using the glutes, but keeping the lower back nice and still. And that's what the pole feedback's for. So when you're ready, you're going to slide one leg back and return. And extend and return. Good. Slide, extend, return. And again, slide and extend and return. Now, if you slide through your big toe. Again, just get the correct kinetic chain in terms of muscles that you're using. Okay, the last couple to this side, and we'll swap it over. All right. So when you're ready, other side, slide and return. Keep the back still, so that you're just moving from your hips. Big toe sliding along the floor. Keep that nice connection. Good, couple more times. Well done. And then just release that one through. So that was just making sure that you are moving from your hips, not from your back. Okie doke. Right, from here, we're going to go briefly into 4-point kneeling, and can get a bit noisy if you're on a hard floor and you don't hold your stability, but in 4-point kneeling, I'd like you to have a go at laying the pole down the length of your spine. Okay, that way. Same rule with the head. Okay, you can't force the head to the pole like that, but you can just draw your chin to your chest so that the pole, your head is as close to the pole in that alignment there. Okay, what we're looking to do then, because I know you'll find it hard to look, so I'll just briefly show you without the pole, is we're going to go into the swimming level 4 exercise, that one. I would advise with the pole down your spine that you really do it slowly today. Okay, and that should just help focus your mind on maintaining your spinal positioning. Okay, so in 4-point, if you'd like to lay the pole down the length of the spine, look at the floor, chin to chest, shoulders to bottom. Okay, you might want to think about just gently lengthening your tailbone so that you've got as much good connection as you can. Okay, so ideally, the pole's back of the head between the shoulder blades and on the tailbone. Ideally, the pole now doesn't move, which means the spine doesn't move. Okay, so when you're ready, think about internally connecting your pelvic floor, connecting your deep abdominals to your spine, and starting to send it away. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Send that extension into a hover, maintaining that spinal control. Return and down. Good. Other side. Slide. Hover. Down. And back. Good. And again, pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Slide. Hover. Come down. And back. Okay, and swapping over. Make sure your pole connection is still good. As I say, if you're doing this nice and slowly and carefully and you're not allowing any compensations within your spine, that pole shouldn't have moved. Okay. 2 more to each side. We'll slide. And hover. Return. And back. Other side. Keep the connection to the pole. Keep the connection deep abdominals to spine, pelvic floor. Okay, last couple. Good, and again. Well done. And then just take the pole off the back and hopefully it stayed there for that whole little series. Right. Okay. From here, if you're brave, you'll also do this one with the pole along your spine. Depends how brave you're feeling. And if you're not feeling very brave, do it without. We're going to go into a plank. Excuse me, and from our plank, we're going to add in some hip extensions as well. Okay, so the only thing is it's quite hard to get into the position, but so if you want to go into plank with the pole on your spine, set yourself up into 4-point kneeling, hands forwards and wide of your shoulders, elbows soft, long strong neck, so all of the usual setup. Connect the pelvic floor, connect the deep abdominals to the spine, then step one leg back, step the other leg back, okay? Right, from here, we're going to hover one leg and down, the other leg and down, and again, hover and down, hover and down. Good, hover. Now make sure your elbows are still soft. Really try and maintain that connection of the back of the head to the pole, if it started there, because there is a temptation in plank for your head to slowly fall down between your arms. Okay, the last couple. Well done. And then bend one knee, bend the other knee. We're not quite done yet. So keep it there. Just check that you're happy with where your pole's situated. We're going to go one more plank, and after this plank, we're going to go knee to shoulder and extend. Knee to shoulder, extend. Okay? So get your spinal connection to the pole as good as you can. Soft elbows, shoulder blades to bottom, pelvic floor, deep abdominals to spine. And then once again, step one leg back, step the other leg back. Good. Holding that spinal connection, can you go knee to shoulder, extend and down. Knee to shoulder, extend and down. So I'm alternating my legs. Knee to shoulder, extend and down. Other leg. Try and keep that connection. 2 more to each side. Extend and down. Knee to shoulder, extend and down. Last 2. Hold the pole in place by keeping your spine nice and straight. And I lost mine at that last moment. Excuse the bang. 1, 2. Told you it could get noisy. And you're done. Okay. Right. I was too busy talking. All right. From here, we're going to go into shoulder bridge just briefly. And we're going to have a pole across the front of our pelvis. Okay. So, lying down on the floor, shoulder blades bottom, chin towards your chest, knees and feet hip distance apart, so about a fist between your knees and your feet. Have the pole across the front of the pelvis, palms facing down. All right. From here, connect the feet to the floor, connect up through your pelvic floor, and can you curl your way up into a shoulder bridge? So, curling the spine towards the floor and then peeling the spine away, tailbone through the lower back, possibly through the rib cage, possibly up to the shoulder blades. Remember the rule, only go so high as you can maintain that long spine, long lumbar muscles. Breathe and hold, and curl down, ribs, lower back, and tailbone. Okay, so if you don't want to do the leg extensions, you just go up and down, that's fine. If you do want to do the leg extensions, we're watching that the pole stays level. Okay, so when you're ready, you're going to curl up. Nice length through the spine. Okay. Connect one foot to the floor and then hover the other. As your pelvis and therefore your pole stays level. And down. Other side, collect the glute, hover, hold, and down. So if you're struggling, have a little think about connecting your sit bones. It's almost internal. Tiny little glute squeeze. See if that helps to maintain a nice level pelvis. Lower the leg. And make sure you've still got a long back. Connect the glutes. Hover. Breathe. And down. Good. Couple more times. Glutes. Connect. Hover. Breathe. And down. Good. One more. Glutes. Connect. Hover. Breathe. Down. And curl down. Lovely. Right. Good. Okay, from here, we are going to, sorry, I'm just coming back down. We're going to bring the pole between your thumbs and your index fingers with your arms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do our obliques work. And this is just to make sure, so a lot of people, they do start to really lead and pull in with their arms and their elbows. So hopefully the pole will be a really nice way of keeping that compensation at bay. And you really want to think with your obliques about opposite shoulder to opposite hip. So when you're ready, pelvic floor, chin to chest, curl up through the breastbone. Okay, from here, when you breathe out, opposite shoulder to hip and return. And swap, opposite shoulder to hip and return. Keep a nice long neck. Opposite shoulder to hip and return. If you need to, then rest your head between each one and go slightly slower. Okay, and chin to chest, shoulders to hip and return. And again. Good. A couple more times. Good, 2 more. Opposite shoulder to hip and return. Good, last one. Well done, and curl down. Lovely. Okay, nearly there. Right, from here, we're going to just come up into a squat, into a roll down. Okay, so go up onto your toes, have your feet a fist distance apart, and in a moment we're going to take the bottoms to the ceiling, head to the floor, pulse to the pelvis, but stay on your toes. All right, so when you're ready, we're going to take the bottoms up, heads down, poles up the poles to front of the pelvis. You're still through those big toes, curl up. Okay, lower the heels, breathe in, breathe out as you curl down around the pole. Focus on that lumbar opening, which so often we don't do. Okay, float onto the toes, work through your big toes and curl back up. So you've noticed I've not focused on trying to find my feet. I've focused on opening up through the lower back. Okay, so try again. Draw the pole in, curl around the pole. Try and find that length through the lower back, even if it feels like you don't go so far. Crown of the head to the floor, chin to chest, up onto your toes. Work through the big toes and keep the chin on the chest, shoulder blades to bottom as you come up. Good. Okay, one more time. Draw the pole in, go forwards, going down. Lovely, going up onto the toes, turning up. And lowering down. Well done. Okay, right. From here, we're just going to finish off with the pole level across the pelvis. Okay, I'd like you to take one leg back, and whilst keeping the pole horizontal, I'd like to do some fast little hamstring kicks. One leg. Good, just make sure that you don't start dropping, or you don't start hitching. So just that nice level pelvis. If you can see yourself, get the leg going up directly behind you, not across your body. Okay, and then swap over. So slide the leg back from the hip, and again, when you're ready, up and down. Keep going. Keep growing out of that hip so we're not dropping again. Good. Well done. And lower that down. All right. Hopefully that should just leave you in a position where you've kind of woken up that system again to go out the door. But lots of useful things to think about. And if there's something that you did particularly struggle on, it is worth the odd practice in front of the mirror and actually working on trying to get those good biomechanics, level pelvis, plumb line, knees over middle toes. All right, thank you very much.